we have coming up is Oliver Ryan with Countit.
Okay, hi everyone. Oliver Ryan. I am the founder and CEO of Countit, and hopefully you can now see my screen. And this is a bit of a spoiler alert. What Countit does is we're using fitness trackers, Fitbits, Garmin's, Misfits, and Apple Watches, as well as apps on phones to power a growing network of both corporate and community wellness challenges. So we just had our best month on record. We're now averaging about 6 new groups a day. October was better than September. September was better than August. So who are these people who are signing up, and what do we do? And let me just flip to there. So wellness in the United States is an $8 billion business growing at about 8% per year. That's $640 million of new revenue each year through 2021. Many of you, I'm sure, out there are familiar with the basic issue, which is that the US healthcare is a $2.7 trillion market, and 86% of that is related to chronic preventable conditions. So all businesses in the United States are struggling with their health insurance bills, and they're also struggling with just corporate culture. Companies want to do stuff that keep their employees happy and engaged at work, and they'd like that also to be healthy. It turns out that at the enterprise level, very large American companies are doing a lot of stuff, but in the small business market, it's a huge problem, because what you see is HR managers, and we've talked to hundreds of them, are literally pulling out their hair. This is a direct quote. "We want to do wellness, but it's a headache." After payroll and insurance benefits and recruiting, what is left over is, how do we do something fun for the office that's healthy? Now, there are a couple of big trends that are happening that are arriving to make this job a lot easier, and Countit is benefiting from those. So specifically, last year was the single biggest year on record for HR tech investing. So HR managers at companies of all sizes are now getting used to having web-based tools to manage their staff and their employees. That's the SaaS business model, and it's hitting small businesses in a big way. Last year, 402 deals, $2.2 billion of investment. Secondly, I think everyone's aware that there's trackers, wearables is booming. It's a $17 billion market. 1 in 6 people now have actual wearables, and that's not to say anything of the fact that everyone who's carrying a smartphone now has a pedometer and a sensor built in, delivering information about their physical activity. Finally, there's a third trend, which is a big deal. It's group messaging, products like Slack, HipChat, soon Google Hangouts. So what's happening is there's now a physical infrastructure to deliver programming around culture and wellness to small businesses. And that is, in fact, what Countit is. So on Countit, everybody gets connected. We're an open platform. We work with all of the top devices, Fitbit, Garmin, Apple Watch, et cetera, as well as apps. People can instantly see how active they are, should they choose to, relative to their coworkers in social challenges. And we make it point and click easy for bosses and HR managers to deliver incentives and rewards. So if you're sufficiently active in a given month, you can get a $20 Amazon gift card. We, in fact, automate Amazon, Chipotle, Fandango, Lululemon, Whole Foods Market, Target, and a variety of other national vendors. So we're essentially delivering a tracker-driven, an Internet of Things tracker-driven wellness product to 300, 400, 500-person firms. And that's why every day 6 companies are signing up on the site or calling us asking for a demo. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about who they are. But just to emphasize a few things, we're open to multiple kinds of devices, we're highly social, and we're networked. So we're doing something that doesn't even exist at the enterprise level, and that's we're allowing companies to see how active they are versus other companies. You can actually, on Countit, battle. Company A can battle another company. They can see how they're standing in their metro area. And in general, we're now giving companies data to see what the state of their health is relative to all other companies in their class, which is, I think, a big deal, because if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. So finally, how much does this cost? We're making it affordable for even the smallest groups, $2 per user per month. This is in a market where your typical company is paying anywhere from $500 to $1,000 for health insurance. This is a rounding error. A lot of research suggests that even in the SMB market, companies are willing to pay upwards of $30 per user per month. So we We are pricing this to move because we see a huge opportunity in every company in America running a Countit challenge. Once more and more companies do, the capacity for network challenges and league challenges becomes really interesting. We already have a bunch of paying customers, so we're actually upwards now pushing 50 paying customers. We have all the Hyatt hotels in the San Francisco Bay Area. We signed our first police department, Bend, Oregon. We have our first New York City public school, and a variety of others. What distinguishes our customers right now, although I think there's some very interesting verticals, but what distinguishes them are that their size, typically less than 1,000, and their very strong interest in their culture. So we're getting people who are leaning forward into culture, looking to do interesting things and use technology to do it. Now, it is a hard problem to attack this market, 500,000 small businesses with less than 1,000 employees. We are not doing it alone, so we get people coming to us directly. We have actually formed a partnership with Garmin. Garmin chose us to be their preferred vendor for SMB wellness challenges in the US. We have a similar partnership with Fossil, the largest watchmaker in the US that owns Misfit. And we have 3 private label wellness vendors. So those of you who know this market know that wellness is typically sold through the insurance broker channel. We have 3 companies private labeling the Countit platform. How big can this get? Well, it's an $8 billion market altogether today, growing 8%. We think SMB market will get to be $8 billion on its own. And we think the just tracker-driven challenges are a $1 billion market in the next 5 years. And just to give you some sense of our financials before I go on to the team, we break even at 700 clients. We already have 50. That's $1 million in revenue per year. And with just 5% of the market, we're at a $30 million revenue business, and it goes up from there. So I think we have a great team to pull this off. It's not our first rodeo. I founded a company called Apartment Therapy Media some time ago with my brother. That's now one of the top lifestyle media companies in the country. We do about 30 million unique visitors a year. We employ about 100 people. I have nothing to do with the operations anymore, although I was the co-founder and I'm the second largest owner. I have a degree from the Harvard Business School and also from the Columbia School of Journalism. I spent some time as a tech journalist. So I'm really the business and product guy. My partner, Craig Beneroff, is our CTO. He's a fantastic full stack engineer, CS degree from the University of Michigan. And we're at it every day. And we have a team right now of freelancers helping us. So we're an extremely lean group. And so that's why we're raising money. We're looking for a 500,000. It's our first raise. It's a seed round, 500,000 convertible note. We have about 20 of that firm commitments, and we're in very late stage discussions with a venture capitalist to be our lead investor. And we really welcome, and we're delighted to be here. Thanks, Ken, and welcome your interest.
Before I let you go, Al Zeise, would you mind turning on your video? I just want to make sure we get to capture your face because this is a video pitch. And Al, can you hear me okay?
I can.
All right. Go ahead, Al. Thank you very much, Oliver, and thank you for the shout out.
Okay, so ultimately health and well-being, even though it benefits the employee, it's usually about trying to get our insurance rates down, right, as a company. So are you tying results to HRA results, so the health and assessment results?
Yeah, so the short answer is no, and it's not something that our clients have asked for. So I think the question is, okay, if we run this program, is there a direct correlation to a reduction in healthcare costs? And this gets a little complex. But what we have found, your typical boss and HR manager at a small business, 300, 400, 500 people, if they see that their people are having a fantastic time and being healthy and using the program, which is in fact what occurs, they're delighted to pay $2 per user per month. And they're also, two things can happen. Number one, they can negotiate for discounts on their health insurance just because they're running the program. So just because they're running the program, they get a discount. Actual health outcomes occur over a longer period of time. People like lower percentage of heart attacks, decrease in diabetes. These things are long-term trends. And, given churn and employees, we don't go in and say, listen, we commit to you that in year 3, you'll have a 20% reduction in your healthcare costs, because frankly, that's just not something that can be done, or at least it hasn't been done yet. But we actually haven't found that people are asking for that.
Okay, great answer. what are you using as your distribution network? Is it going to be the brokers? Is it going to be organizations, associations of HR professionals? What are you using?
So two different sort of two go-to-market approaches. I just want to, yours assumes that all would be through partners. Half are through partners for us. I just want to give a quick lip service, or not lip service, but actual. We do have direct inbound sales, and I think it's a really big deal. I use about a dozen web-based tools to run my business. I've never talked to a salesperson, and I found them all online, Googling, what's the best CRM, what's the best customer service platform, and we want to get those. We want to be at the top of the Google search results for wellness and wellness challenges, and we're on our way to being there. Secondly, because that's not sufficient, as I said, we have distribution partnerships with the device makers, for example, Garmin and Fossil, and through wellness vendors. So, and in fact, through insurance companies too. So we work with Cigna. We work with, there's a company in Chicago called Push for Wellness that we're working with that private labels our platform. We have a company in England that's private labeling it to business parks in England. So we're sort of open and flexible. If you want to use our platform, you can put your brand on it and sell it to that market. We basically wholesale it.